Hello and welcome to Expat's Adventure in Russia. I am Roxana and I hope you're spending a great time, guys. Today's podcast spins a fascinating tale of a Dutch expatriate who's blended the vibrant cultures of the Netherlands and Russia into his daily life. He's not just managing an authentic Dutch bar, which is located not far from Taganska metro station. He's stirring up a cultural cocktail in the heart of Moscow. Together with his Russian wife, he navigates the complexities of life abroad with humor and a dash of Dutch directness. Join us as we explore his journey, filled with tales that bridge two distant lands with laughter and insight. And the best part, you can join the adventure no matter where you are. Catch us on Telegram channel, Instagram and Facebook pages Experts Adventure in Russia, or dive deeper into the discussion on the Russia Experts Info Chat. And do not forget to check out our YouTube channel, where we share short videos highlighting the fascinating topics discussed in our podcast episodes. Click the like button and share our podcast with your friends. So, folks, tune in and get ready to be captivated. Today in our podcast, Express Adventure in Russia, we meet a very nice guy from Holland. His name is Johannes. He is the owner of Holland Bar in Moscow, in Russia, Galansky Bar. Well, Johannes, nice to meet you, and hello.
Yeah, most welcome to the Holland Bar. First of all, I have to correct one thing. I'm not the owner of the bar. I'm just a worker. My boss, he called me by surprise. Come to the Charosh Barchoba, and I have a surprise for you. So I came to this place, and he made a new Holland Bar for the Russian people, for the Dutch community who lives and works in Russia. And I'm running the bar, but I'm not the owner, as to say.
Okay, never mind. You're working here, you're like a small boss, so I should say.
Yeah.
You're greeting people, give them your attention, please them to feel comfortable here.
Yes,
because it's a great way when in a bar there is a great and positive atmosphere. So, Johannes, who is Johannes?
Johannes is a Dutch guy, of course, from the Netherlands. I moved into Moscow, it's about 9 years ago. And why? Because 11 years ago I met a Russian lady in the Czech Republic, in Prague. It's a classic story in the discotheque. And 2 years we were flying up and down, Moscow, Amsterdam, in Amsterdam, Moscow, of course. And in that period of time, 2 years, I decided to move to Russia because I liked it very much. I love the Russia because it's not only the biggest country, but you have so many contrasts here. Not only the way of living, but spend time in another place in Russia. North, south, west, east. It's so diverse. And that's what I like very much. Yeah.
If we compare it with Holland, surely Holland is smaller than Russia without any questions, but nevertheless, you are talking about the contrast. So if we compare these two countries, what is the most striking contrast you've mentioned here in Russia in comparison with Holland?
Now, first of all, it's the culture and the mentality of the people living in the Netherlands or the Russian people. The biggest contrast is, like I said, the mentality, the way of living, the way of thinking and doing business. Dutch people are most likely very to the point, correct, on the minute by agenda. They are fast forward. They are very direct of speaking about making appointments or doing businesses. They're very accurate. And here's more like what happens today happens today. If it comes tomorrow, it comes tomorrow. Or making appointments. It's like can be any day in Russia. But in the Netherlands, you got to plan forward for 3 weeks or a month. And here's just by the day. And also timing. It's a bit funny to say Russians always come too late. Like I'm always waiting for people. But in the Netherlands, it's more like people come in 5 minutes earlier to be on time. And it's a bit of a mentality or culture difference. But the Netherlands is small and it's very constructed, very planned. It's very forward, left and right. And in Russia, it's more chaos. And it's about transport, because in Moscow region, there live as many people as in the whole of the Netherlands. So it's a comparison, like 17 million people in a place like Moscow or the whole Netherlands. So it's a big difference of transport, getting around, going around. So it's a big difference.
Okay, so very nice and interesting and somehow maybe very surprising. But what is the common thing?
A common thing that's like the same in the Netherlands and in Russia. Yeah, people are people. They are trying to they're doing their best to make a living. No, common thing is that everybody is always in a hurry to getting the job done, going to work. And it's also here in Moscow, of course, in city center. People go from A to B. It's always in the metro, very hasty, very getting around.
Bustle, yep.
Yeah, so don't bother anyone on the way to job. Everybody's in a hurry, and it's the same thing in the Netherlands as well. That's because it's daily life, going to work. Yeah, sure, it's a common thing. Yeah,
that's a common thing. Okay, so you've mentioned that you met your wife so in Prague, and then 2 years you had some datings in Amsterdam, in Russia, and so on.
Yeah, speaking about datings, first of all, we exchanged contacts, like telephone number, email, and of course video calling. And after a month, she told me, like, I'm coming to you for a visit to spend the weekend with you. I say, okay, seriously, but most welcome, of course. And that's how we started to get in a relationship. And that was in the year 2013. Small detail, it was the friendship year of the Netherlands and Russia. But anyways, then that summer I visited Russia, Moscow, for the first time in my life. I knew Russia, but from documentaries, films, but not in real life. So I didn't speak or understand any Russian. But it was a glad surprise, a happy surprise that I visited. I like it very much. And after that, we visited each other for happy birthday celebrations. We just flying up and down to each other for like happy birthday and for Novi Godny Prazdnik, for Happy New Year's. And so we visited each other for holidays, celebrate happy birthday and New Year's. I did it 5 times in a row in 2 years, like flying up and down.
Oh, it was easier in previous years.
Yeah. So speaking, it was not about dating, it was just visiting each other.
Romantic dating, I should say.
Yes, sure. And in that time, 2 years, I was getting to know the Russia, because she took me right away to St. Petersburg, getting around in Moscow to all the tourist places. And also, of course, we went to Drivne, to the dacha. And that's in Rязанская Oblast. Now you know where Sergei Yesenin разделся. No?
Yeah, sure.
Poet, right. And I was just so surprised at how big the country is, distances, traveling by train for 4 hours, it's nothing in Russia. And I get to know the real difference between big city life, being hasty, getting to the job, and having a life in the dacha, because there's so quiet, clean air, and you can take a rest. And next to the river, you can just relax with the barbecue, and so go fishing, go swimming. And that's the contrast in big city life. It's always getting to the job, and that's what I like so much about Russia. And everybody's always being busy, but on the other side, you can take a relaxed weekend off. That's also one of the reasons that I wanted to move to Russia. So that was the first 2 years.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
She's just introducing you to her family step by step.
Yes, of course. And it was also the other way around. I took her in the Netherlands.
Of course. Do you remember your first dating? Yeah, I mean just the organization of your first dating, when you just started being like a girlfriend and a boyfriend.
Oh yeah, first of all, the first night in the discotheque, you just getting to know each other, have a chat all night long, have a dance.
Well, it's just the like.
No, yeah, the first date, but then afterwards, like I said, we were just video chatting, and she was the first one. I will come over to your place for the weekend over, and that's how it really started for a relationship.
No, I mean just first dating. So did you go to the restaurant or just to the park or just you
No.
did organize something very special?
No, I have a funny thing to say. Yes, of course, I showed her Amsterdam and city around Volendam, Zaandam, and so tourist places. I took her to my family, and they were very happy, surprised. Oh, a Russian lady, and so on. Yeah, it was so funny. But for the next year, it was in 2014. I invited come over to my place for the weekend, and I said, "Okay, I'll fly over." And so she arrived. I say, "No, you don't need to unpack your bags. Just get into the car. We are going somewhere."
Oh,
So we just hopped in my car and we start driving. And of course, she asked, "Where are we going?" I say, "No, it's a surprise. Just,
very romantic
relax.
you are, I should say.
Relax." And of course, after her trip flying, she was tired, and of course, she fell asleep in the car. And I was just continue driving. She woke up, and we were already in front. Say, "Where are we?" I say, "No, look ahead. There's just a small kilometers to go." Oh my God! I see the Eiffel Tower. I took her to Paris.
Oh my God!
I took her to Paris for the first time. She was there. Yeah.
Perfect.
So that was one special date, of course.
It was just the most special, I should say. She would remember it for her all life.
A weekend.
Yes. Okay. I feel so excited. You see, I imagine your emotions so
It
far.
was good fun. Yeah.
Good fun. Yeah. Good. Romantic fun.
That's called a surprise.
Yeah, so very nice. And how much time did you spend there?
2 days.
2
2 nights.
Two
Yeah.
nights.
I just booked a hotel, take a city around, of course, the Eiffel Tower and the French restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh, she liked it very much, of course.
Surely so. Very nice, I see.
Well, Johannes, we have a special treat for you today. A song inspired by your incredible story, very romantic, and the beautiful journey you have shared with your wife. It's a melody that captures the essence of your adventures together. We're so excited to share it with you and hope it brings as much joy to you as your story has brought to ours. So, without further ado, let's fill the air with music and celebration.
From Amsterdam to Paris, our story began. Through winding streets, hand in hand. We met in Prague, with stars in our eyes. Now Moscow's home, where love never dies. In Moscow's glow, we built our dreams. With Katya by my side, it's more than it seems. A Dutch bar in the city lights. We toast to love, to endless nights. Behind the bar, I pour the past. With every drink, memories last. In the city far from where I'm from, love and laughter keep us strong. In Moscow's glow, we built our dreams. With Katya by my side, it's more than it seems. A Dutch bar in the city lights. We toast to love, to endless nights. Through the laughter, through the years, we've chased away the quiet fears. With every smile and every cheer, we've made a home we hold so dear. In Moscow's glow, we built our dreams. With Katya by my side, it's more than it seems. A Dutch bar in the city lights. We toast to love, to endless nights. Through the laughter, through the years, we've chased away the quiet fears. With every smile and every cheer, we've made a home we hold so dear. In Moscow's glow, we built our dreams. With Katya by my side, it's more than it seems. A Dutch bar in the city lights. We toast to love, to endless nights.
If we just speaking about dating, is there any difference or just common dating in Netherlands and in Russia, except your romantic action to going to Paris? I mean, just traditional dating, or it's just the same as in any countries?
No, I think to start with, it's a bit the same everywhere. It depends on how you introduce yourself or make an invitation or getting to know each other. How does that inflict? How does it start? But there is a bit of a nuance. I think that in the Netherlands, they say it's about double Dutch, like the guy invites to have a dinner to get to know each other, like splitting the bill, double Dutch.
It's usual thing in
Yeah,
Europe,
yeah,
in America.
And there's a big discussion about does the guy pay the bill, or is it normal to split the bill or whatsoever? But I think in the end, the guy should pay the bill. He makes an invitation, and the guy should pay the bill. But I know here from stories that the Russian ladies are not against it to pay their own bill. But I think in the most countries, it's a bit about the same discussion. But it depends on the guy, I think.
I agree by 100%, because it's, first of all, your intention. Man's intention should be asking girl for a dating because you are nice. First of all, for us, I mean, for women,
exactly, yeah.
We would like just to be treated as princesses, queens.
No, yes,
so
of course, that's the man and woman thing.
They are going with some handsome guy to the dating and sharing the.
Exactly, I agree. And then, yet another small thing, when I saw her in a discotheque, she was having a rest or just drinking something, but sitting on the bench in the discotheque. And I saw her, and I just felt I need to get to know her. But as you know, that when a lady is sitting around having a rest, she has a bit of an aura or protecting ring around her. So, but I just sit next to her and I said, "Hello." And she was surprised. Who is this guy? What happened? But she was not so scared. But she said, "Oh, hello, I'm Katya." And I say, "Katya, okay, my name is Jan." And she was surprised that I spoke out her name correctly, Katya. I didn't know it was Yekaterina. But she was surprised I spoke Katya the right way. And she was not scared.
Love with first sight, I suppose.
No,
Pronouncing
maybe yes.
Katya with the right way.
Yeah, maybe yes, but she felt comfortable and she was not scared. Like an unknown guy, just sit next to her and start talking with her. But I think in the Netherlands it also can be a scary thing or open. Depends on the situation, maybe.
Not only a situation, so sometimes it's our inner vibes. So sometimes we feel.
You feel the energy of the other person.
When a positive atmosphere from your side. So I suppose that's why she wasn't confused or just embarrassed or something like that, or scared. But in disco, sometimes girls are very self-protective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what she told me. I just felt directly more comfortable next to her, that I was not scared and so on. Now, afterwards, she told me like this. But I can imagine that the guys just sitting next to somebody and start talking. It can be uncomfortable.
It was the destiny, you see.
Maybe
Cupid just directed you to Yekaterina.
Yeah, maybe yes. That's what people say. It suits.
So perfect, very romantic, I should say, story for introducing and then dating. Okay, so and then you just made her an offer. So I mean, just asking her to get married.
After this 2 years, getting to know each other, make the visits for 2 years up and down Moscow, Amsterdam. I decided for myself I wanted to live in Russia, but for all the time. But yes, of course, we decided to get married. It's a wish from her and a wish from myself in life. I want to get married and making a family. So we agreed on that. No, first of all, we were already adults. It's not like a first love when you're 18 years old or 16.
It's conscious love, you mean?
Yes, exactly. You know who you are, you know what you want, where you want to live, and so on. So in this picture together, I decided I want to live in Russia, get married, and make family. Yeah, and it was in March 2015.
No.
Yeah, March 2015. I arrived, and of course, within 2 weeks, we went to Zax to get married. But it was a kickstart for the documents, for the permission of living. Let's say, no, RVP.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, to get started, to get the documents done. So that's how we started. Yeah, getting married, and but it was for Zax. It's for the documents. The wedding party was in the summer that year. So no.
Okay, so and did you have two weddings? I mean, just first one here in Russia and the other one in Holland, or just the only one here?
But for the idea, we wanted to do that in the Netherlands as well, but we, how do you say, we did not manage in time to do so after you get the pandemic and so the SVOs are working out. No, but first of all, we get married for the documents, and the wedding party was here in Moscow. But my parents were coming over, so it was good fun. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So I'm very glad for you, for your family.
Oh, thanks.
So, and you have children.
Yes, we have a son, one son. Yeah,
How old is he?
already 8 years. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 8 years. So
Yeah.
he's grown up enough, I should say.
Yeah, first
So-
class is done. So in September he will start the second class. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and if we're talking about traditions, so Holland and Russian, and taking your son, for example, is it a bilingual person? I mean, just he speaks two languages, Dutch and Russian, or?
No, he only speaks Russian. I try to get with him the Dutch language. Where when I speak to him, he understands what I mean or what I'm saying, but he always answers in Russian. For 4 months, when he got started first class in September last year, we also started the Dutch school. There's an official government Dutch school in Moscow. And there's Dutch families going to. And we went there for 4 months. And more, it didn't work out. It's long travel, and it's only on a Saturday morning for 3 hours. And he already got 5 days of school in the first year. So we decided maybe next year. But he liked it. In the first case, he liked it. But yet again, it was a bit too much for him, I think. Starting with 2 schools at one time, it's a bit too much. But I always said before this, 4 years ago, most important thing is that he starts in Russian school. He's born in Russia, he will live in Russia. So the most important thing is that he understands the Russian language, understanding of the Russian schooling and so on. And when the time is there, he can start the Dutch language or the English language. But first of all, the Russian thing. That's what I always said. It's the most
Official
important.
one, yes.
Yes, of course.
Official languages.
He's growing up here. The language is very important. The understanding of schooling and so on. Yeah, that's why I said.
Understanding you is just halfway of
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
Dutch.
sure. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So if he understands, it means that one day he will be able to speak
Yeah.
Dutch. Why not? So
It can be anytime soon because a child is growing up and maybe there's a switch and he understands, oh, I just want too much, not so much. But
you
it's
don't
just-
want just to press him.
It's not enforcing. No, just give it a time. He will understand by himself, and then it's a moment that, Papa, I want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great decision, I should say. Very wise decision.
No, yeah, give it a time. 1 year ahead or 1 year behind for languages. It's not the biggest problem, I see. because we are living here.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
difficult just to be bilingual. If you are just, for example, living in Holland, so it's okay, so speaking Dutch and Russian
Mhm.
at the same time. But here, well, why not? Do you know any peculiarities of upbringing children in Holland and in Russia? Are they different or just much in common? Or it depends
No.
on parents?
It doesn't only depend on parents. Now, here the schooling system is a whole different rule than in the Netherlands. Kick starts from Sadik, from childcare. In Dutch, it's called kinderdagverblijf. No, детский сад.
Yeah.
Детский сад. It's kick starts from there, and it's already a big difference. Not only about what's happening there, but also the costs. Are they providing breakfast and lunch, or even dinner? Depends on what the parents can manage. But there's a big difference in the schooling system, and what do they teach the children? And it's in details, it's a really big difference. And but I like it what they are doing here and teaching the children here about the unity of the class, boys
So
and
it's
girls.
better here than in Netherlands.
Yeah, my personal reason, yes, my findings. But,
Surely
my
your
findings.
experience.
Yeah, my experience. And for the future time, for sure.
How do you spend your free time with your family?
Spending free time with the family, at home or we go out. We can go out, of course, to the park, to the swimming pool or aqua park, as you can say, to fun fair for children, no, for young families, going to the Cosmonaut Museum or something. Or spend time with other young families in the neighborhood or with our own family, making a picnic in the park and so on. Yeah, that's how we spend. Or going to the movies, just the regular things, of course. Yeah,
The same as you do, for example, in Netherlands. Yeah?
Yes, of
If you
course.
are living there, just for
Yeah, it will
instance,
be around the same thing.
the
of
same
course.
thing, usual daily routine for typical family. So
Yeah,
nothing.
traditional, going
Yeah.
to birthday parties or going to picnic or we going to the Dutch. My son really likes the Dutch, going swimming in the river, and so he's meeting with his friends over there. That's what he likes very much in the summertime, spending in the Dutch. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we have a small opportunity to go, of course we go there.
Okay. So now I would like just to know, very curious about it. When your wife first introduced you to her families and friends, what was their reaction?
What was their reaction?
Yeah. First their reaction. Yeah. Then yours.
Okay. I see. The first time I remember very well, of course, it was in 2013. Her family was a bit worried because for the first time there will be a foreigner visiting them, visiting in their house. So they're really a bit shy or scared. What will this guy think about our way of living or our house? Because my living in the Netherlands was totally different than here. Here's just wat scheur je dom, hè? But anyways, we arrived and opened the door, and I just directly smiled, hello, and that was the first happy surprise for them that I smiled, but I felt warm welcomed. So come in, please. No, hello, come in, sit down. But it was funny. But I felt directly it was a warm welcome, and in a funny way. And of course, my wife was really working hard as a translator because her family doesn't speak very well English. My wife does very well. And of course, sitting down at the table, they make a Russian table, of course, most welcome, like the Russian traditions. But it felt really good. It felt warm welcome. And I think the first impression is the best expression because you cannot change. And that felt really good. Yeah, sure. And for them reactions, they were very happy that I felt like that. So there was directly that the scariness or the shyness really fell away, dropped off. So they were very happy that I liked it where I was going or where I arrived. So it was good fun. Yeah, sure.
Great. So welcoming atmosphere always makes us relax. Yeah, well,
Mhm.
it's vice versa process. So can you remember any interesting moment, maybe funny story from your first coming to Moscow, to Russia, and visiting your parents, something like that? Maybe some
About
funny
my
story.
no, yeah, first impressions or the first time in Russia.
It's up to you.
Oh, yeah,
Any
getting to
funny
know.
moment.
Yeah, a lot of funny moments, of course, but I'm just thinking way back about first impressions. But it's about 11 years ago already. But of course, arriving at the airport, of course, you have passport control, and any passport control is very strict, of course, very tightened. And it was funny, yeah, it's not the first time the douanier or the Nozetterty looked at me and, oh, another Dutch guy, just everything is okay with the visa, so continue. A small thing, small detail, no, I'm a smoker, but I have tobacco, for the Dutch tobacco, and you have to roll it yourself. And I was waiting outside for the taxi, and I just start rolling a cigarette. And it was not the best idea to do so, because in the Netherlands it's normal that a guy is just making a cigarette. So directly on first sight, a police guy comes up to me and he says, "What are you doing in Russia?" Or I say, "Just this is tobacco. I'm making a cigarette." So I handed it over because he wanted to check. Is het trava или как это голландский тулпаник? No, это не марихуана, скажем.
Cannabis.
Yeah, cannabis. So I said, yeah, no problem. I just showed him, and then he checked it and he said, okay, but it's not so common to smoke it. I said, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm from Poland, so
Yeah, for it's normal. He said, just buy a pack of cigarettes and nobody bothers you. I said, that's okay. So that was the first thing. I met a police guy for making a cigarette. But anyways, yeah, and driving a taxi from the airport to the address was for an hour or so. It's not so bad, but I realized also, yeah, that's traveling in Moscow. It's a big city life, and from A to B, it's not 20 minutes. What for me is in common around in the Netherlands, so small trip. So yeah, that was a funny thing to get to know police guy at the airport. Yeah.
first impression and first
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
huge action with police.
No, yeah, it was a small thingy, but yeah, small surprise because I didn't know about it. Yeah. And otherwise, first time we went to the dacha, I like it very much. They have it's an old house. It was first built from the woods, tree.
Yeah.
And after they make it with kirpich bricks. It's a normal thing. They make restoration and so on. But my family was a bit afraid or scared that I didn't like. It's not so comfort because the toilet is outside. Oh my god! And the old kitchen, not warm water and so on. There's no problem. It's not the first time I'm spending time outside of the city or whatsoever. So she booked a hotel. So for me to have a comfort, this and that. So we were staying over there, but the first night there was heavy rain, storm, and so on. And what happens in the village? The power gets cut off. So we're sitting in a hotel without any comfort. But anyways, I said the next time you don't need to hotel. We just stay in your house at the Dutch. It's not the first time to have a toilet outside. It's a normal thing in Russia. So it was also a funny surprise for them family. Oh, he doesn't mind. Everything is okay. Yeah. It was also a funny thing, you know.
I see. So, and have you experienced any banya procedures?
Banya, yes, of course.
How do you like it?
I like it very much.
Okay.
Yeah, first was in the village. The neighbors built their own banya. It was a good and fun experience. Of course, the first time, yeah, it was in summertime, so it was already hot. And so I said, okay, going to the banya in this weather, okay. But they asked me, are you not afraid to take a cold shower afterwards? No, you lay down and they make it with this, with the leaves.
Vinik.
Yeah, vinik. So they smash it with the vinik.
Good. Good
So,
sticks.
do you like it, Johannes? Yes, I'm normal. It's okay. And then, of course, don't be afraid. There will be a bucket of cold water. So just stand here and he pulled the rope and then just get a cold shower. But I took it. It's okay. But that's the Russian tradition, Banya. So, and we also did it in winter time, so you can jump into the snow. Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah. I like it very much. In the Netherlands, I did not do such thing. Yeah, go to the sauna, but it's in the aqua park or in the swimming pool thing. It's different. I like the Russian nature way of doing so. Yeah, it was good
Very
fun.
spiritual, I should say.
Yeah, but it's good fun with the guys. Good fun. Yeah.
Okay, judging to your funny stories and experience, we may say that you introduced in our culture in a very perfect way.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Living
Yeah.
9 years, you've been interacted with the Russian family, your relatives of
Yeah.
your wife. You are always in their circle, so we may say that you are very great with our traditions.
Yeah, sure. From the families, from friends, and of course in the village. But also, I have to say that when I start living in Moscow, I was getting around myself to work and to shops and doing my best to get the Russian language. Because if you want to live and work in Russia, it's very important to get to know and understand the Russian language. Because without that, your world is very closed, very small. Because to having a chat about anything or you have questions in the shop, you should manage
It's
to
essential.
to manage yourself in the Russian language. That's very important. And by the way, when I have a day off, I was getting around in my neighborhood. You have the playing ground or playing malinki tennis, ping pong. And no, people were interested. I hear some accent. Who are you? Where are you from? And that's how I get to know people in my neighborhood. And then you start getting around with each other, just playing around this ping pong or whatsoever. It's also helped very well to getting around with the language. They helped me with that. Of course, my wife helped me with that and family. But that's to getting around, no socializing in your neighborhood. It's very important to get to know the Russian language, culture, how people living. Yeah,
Some
and
kind of mentality
Also,
to
yeah.
adapt to our way of life, or how
adapting
we
the
think.
way of life. Yeah, sure. And
Because
getting
it's really very necessary and useful experience to be interacted in this circle. I mean, just
interact, socializing in the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
sure.
I can really recommend to do so and get Russian language understandings. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
It's much more easier, I should say.
Yeah, it was really difficult the first 3 years because new city, new culture, new language. But my colleague, she spoke English, so she helped me also very well to getting around, to learning the Russian language. My wife as well. But it's very important, yeah, to have some help, but also self-willing that.
Well, it
Reading,
depends on the
right?
person, surely.
Yeah.
If you eager just to do it by yourself, it's
Yeah.
okay. If no, so
Mhm.
nobody just presses you just to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
so, well, it means that learning Russian, you do it by yourself, not without extra classes, going somewhere, or just taking classes with a personal teacher. No.
No, yes, I have to say, the first year working in Moscow, I went to school, international school for learning the Russian language, but only for 2 months.
Why?
No, because I was working all the time in the bar.
Okay.
It was always working. It's also late night, and so I got help from my work. I got help from my wife, and the first 2 months was already a good basic, like B2 or B1. Like it was good enough to get an exam for the RVP.
Okay.
So,
So mostly you did it for your permission.
Yes,
just
of
living
course, that's very
permission.
important because all the
Good
documents are
motivation.
good motivation. Yes, because the documents are valid for 3 months, or one document is only valid for 1 month. So you need to chase down your timetable. In that particular time, you should manage to get an exam. So I was pushing myself to get it done in this first school, and with my job and my wife, that was really a good basic to get the exam done. And I must say, the exam about language, the first exam, is not really that difficult. It's more the rules and law and history about Russia that you should make a good memory to get the diploma. Yeah.
Names, dates,
History. Yeah.
daughters.
Yeah. But I got this done already 3 times. Yeah.
Succeed in it?
Succeeded, yeah, of course, with the RVP. I got it for 3 years. Then the second is the Vidna for 5 years. And after that, you can go for the residency. No, for the Russian passport. And I got it already.
My congratulations. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are now
thank you.
true citizen of the Russian Federation.
Yes,
Oh.
гражданин.
Okay. So what about your family? Was there against or just for your decision, just living here and having the second passport?
No, my parents, first of all, they were always open to this, and they always said, Jan, you can do anything you want. You can live where you want, with who you want. It's your decision. As long as you're happy, we are happy. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
very modern ones, I should say.
Oh, yeah, but
Not old-fashioned school, I mean.
No, yeah, because they visited Russia with for the first time at our wedding party in 2015, and they were happily surprised. What is the Russia? No, Moscow is the capital, but they were very happily surprised. There are no bears walking on the road, and they are not playing. There are stereotypes. They are not drinking vodka and playing balalaika and so on. There's no police all the time or army on the streets and so on. No, the classical ones, and it's not all gray, black and white. So everything is so modern. And no, first of all, to see are the modern cars, new cars, technology, and so they were happy surprised. That,
Breaking
really?
minds, yep.
Yeah,
Breaking minds. Wow, Russia, really?
yeah. Of course, I told them that everything is normal here. You can have a good life here, but they were happily surprised. Yeah, and they say, yeah, if you want to move to Russia, we are not against it. If you get your residency, second one, or even a Russian passport, it's your decision. We are not against it. It's your life, so you can do anything you want.
No,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
perfect.
Yeah, sure.
Great. When it's very rare, I should say, when parents understand their children in a very positive way. Once again, my congratulations with your citizenship.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about traditions. Do you keep any and introduce any Netherlands traditions to your family which you really appreciate and celebrate, or just following except surely Easter and except Christmas? I mean, just
national holidays.
yeah.
And celebrations. Yeah.
Maybe something very extraordinary which you have in Netherlands but we do not have in Russia.
Oh yeah, of course. Most people know our national holiday is King's Day, and everything
sure,
will be
yeah.
in orange to celebrate his birthday. But otherwise, yes, like Easter, mostly are Christians in the Netherlands. It's normal as here to celebrate Easter, and so difference is Christmas time, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the New Year celebrations are quite the same. Only we have 1 week holiday here, the first week of January. The Netherlands also have, but like a few days, not a full week, but here's always a full. I keep on the Dutch traditions and holidays. The first few years, yes, but after not really anymore. I'm living in Russia, and I really adopted the Russian holidays and traditions and so on. Yeah.
Okay, so just to soften your being here though as a true Russian person.
No, well, yeah, I decided for myself I want to live in Russia for the rest of my life. So first of all, yet again, the language, but also adopted traditions, celebrations, and so on. Yeah.
So you don't want just to mix them up. Okay, so
Yeah.
without
I'm not forgetting about my Dutch history or traditions.
Oh sure. You're born in Netherlands. So
Yeah, I always will stay Dutch, of course,
Yeah, sure.
with our traditions. And also to come back with the questions, traditions. How I grew up, or the way of doing something at home, or the way of planning to do so, it was not really a conflict, but you get bumped into the Russian way of thinking, the Russian mentality, and the Dutch way of thinking mentality. Sometimes it was a bit bumpy, but anyway, we are both open to find a solution, and we're always getting around. So it was not fighting, not really fighting or whatsoever, just getting along and just adapting one way or another. But I really adapted in Russia because I live here and I want to live here for always. So, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, next one I would like just to ask you, as our podcast is Expat Adventure in Russia, I would like just to listen to your adventures. I mean, just first adventure with the introducing with the policeman, the airport for the first time. But I mean, just for example, what was your first reaction to our winters?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That 11 years ago, no, it was the year 2013, the new year 2014. That was the first time to celebrate the Nowy Godny Prazdnik, the Happy New Year celebration. I arrived here about Christmas time, the 27th of December, I think. It was really winter already. It was a good one as well. So we went to the shop buying a good winter jacket and good gloves and a good scarf and so on. Good,
you weren't prepared for it, yep?
No, we have those stuff, of course, but the winters are very, very weak. No, not really tough winters. But here I arrived, it was really winter already, big pack of snow everywhere and ice. And we wanted to go outside to do some fireworks, but it was really cold and windy. And we did the fireworks, of course, directly go back inside because it's really too cold. And then after celebrations, which was really good celebrations, the Russian way, I must say, first time, like it very much. But then the 1st of January, it's normal to continue with the table as you left it.
Till the 10th of January, I should say.
Yeah. But for example, then the 2nd or 3rd day, we were walking around in Moscow and I really felt the coldness of the Russian winter the first time. I was really warm clothed with a good winter jacket and gloves on, but I really felt the cold going to the bones. And I said, yeah, this is Russian winter the first time. This is a Russian winter. So it was a cold but good experience, yeah.
So, and what about Russian cuisine?
Cuisine?
Yeah, borscht, холодец, окрошка, and so on.
No, those are the things I like very much. First, my wife can prepare it herself, but also enjoy it in a restaurant or anywhere where you are. Окрошка is for summertime with hot potatoes.
You're an expert. You're an expert in Russian cuisine, I should say.
Also with hot potatoes or kvass. How do you like it? Окрошка, how do you like it? With kvass or? But anyways, borscht I like it very much. As my mother-in-law, she teaches me how to eat, how she likes it to eat. I said, okay, all right. With the black bread, yeah, with garchichny sauce. He said the chestnut.
Garlic, yes.
Of course. That's how I like to eat my borscht.
Okay.
Of course. Other things, the cuisine, like here, the Pekarnia bakery, you have so big assortment of bread with karkoshka and with potatoes or with meat or with vegetables. And I did not eat it the first time, so I was getting to know this. And first of all, it was strange, but after then you get to know it. Russians always like to drink a lot of tea.
Yeah.
With,
hot one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's not only black or green tea, it's like gorny chai from the mountains or specifics of tea. They like it very much. Yeah, me too, but it's getting to know the Russian cuisine. Of course, it's like also a little bit in the Netherlands. It's potatoes, meat, and vegetables. But it depends on how you prepare it. And the Russians have their own way of preparing, their own sausages and so on. But I like it very much. Yeah, it tastes good. Yeah.
And what about холодец?
Холодец, it's a tasty snack with hrin.
Yeah.
Sauce, hrin.
Yep.
At first, when I get to know this, it was a bit strange, a bit scary, but it depends on what do you drink with it, how does it come? Is it with tea, with a beer, or with a vodka? But the last one I can recommend.
So it means you like vodka.
Yes, of course. But drinking vodka is best with company and with a celebration.
Sure, not by alone.
And always, it's very important to eat very well with drinking vodka. That's most important.
It's the first, main, and the last rule.
Yeah,
I
sure
should say.
thing.
Yep.
Sure
So
Sure,
really,
Yeah.
because it's really very difficult just to do it without any food. So
Yeah.
vodka is just
Yeah, but-
becomes evil if you do not eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I like it very much. The Russian table is the Russian table. It's very rich of very diverse of food with snacks and so on. Very healthy snacks. That's what I like so much from the Dutch. That everybody grows their own vegetables. or
Vegetable
fruits.
grown from from
That's what I like very
soil.
much.
Yeah, surely. That's why we have almost all Russian people have Dutchers, because we just grow up plants, vegetables, fruits
Yeah, sure.
on our own ground, and we know what it is gonna just to be. Okay, next question is, what's your impression about metro?
Metro.
Moscow metro.
Yeah, the metro.
It's too complicated.
For the first time, yes. For the first time. The metro is very impressive. First of all, it's huge. So many lines, so many stations, and so many beautiful stations when it was just opened, just before the Second World War. It's very kept well known to say. It's very beautiful, and they keep it very beautiful. It's not.
We try to do our best.
Yeah. But it's really expanding. For example, I live here 9 years, and how many stations are built extra to it? It's really expanding.
Well,
But my
maybe
first-
next time we'll be in the Netherlands. Why not?
Perhaps, yeah. Who knows? But
Surprise!
Yeah, it's surprise. The first impression when I went to the metro myself, without my Russian wife, without any guide or something, it was funny how to get along, because in that year it was all in Russian. It was all in Russian. Only
That
from-
time, yep. That time,
Only
yep.
from 2015 they start making the signs in the English
15?
language.
15, maybe 17 before Worldwide
15 already.
Championship, before
No, already
2018, before it, maybe
Yeah,
2
yeah.
years before it, yeah.
Yeah, in 2015 I start noticing the signs
Mm-hmm.
and directions, also the pavement, also in the English language, and the announcement. But station starts,
doubles,
the next
yeah.
station is that became also in the English language. Not all at once, but step by step they fixed it. Yeah, because of the 2018 World Championship football. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a great success. No, for the tourism and so for the visiting, it was a great success.
Also infrastructure, so it was really very great. Yeah,
Yes,
so-
sure thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's my impression also of the metro station is the fastest and the most cheapest way to get around in Moscow. Yeah. It's funny also that if you go on the ground, you just pay with a ticket or with your troika, but you can travel from south to north only for, 55 rubles today? That is very cheap.
57.
Oh, 57 rubles, okay, but from down south you can all the way up north only for 57.
Yes.
If you have a
And you can do some transitions to
Yes,
the
of
bars,
course.
for
As
example.
long as you
Yes.
stay in the metro, you can travel anywhere you want. Yeah.
So, and one more convenient way is just we have some apps, the metro apps,
Mhm.
which help, for example, foreigners, not only foreigners, even Russian people who
Yeah,
come
sure.
from different cities and towns where there is no metro at all. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it really helps them to navigate them, better to say, in a very profound way. It's
Yeah.
really very nice.
Sure thing, sure. I also got this at the metro. and it's not-
Surely, because you're a citizen. You're
Yeah,
a true citizen,
yeah. But it's for most people, if you go to an address for the first time, you have to find a way to the address. But I also just getting around on the street or getting around in the metro, and I even No, Russian people are asking me, so do you know the direction? Podskажите, пожалуйста, где этот адрес? So, извините, я не знаю, я не учу. But sometimes I know where it is, or I can help out. They're surprised. Oh, thank you. Ну, спасибо большое. Just, getting along. That's, helping people around. Yes, sure.
Okay, I see.
And I also, when I had a question where to go, my wife also didn't know. I just asked some people. My wife said, I'm not asking people. I'm scared or shy to ask questions. So, just if you need to get somewhere, just ask it. And
No, it's urgent one, so why not? Nobody eats you or just bites you or something like that. What's typical to Russian people? We always are scared to ask some questions. I don't know why, but it is as it is.
Yeah.
So, Johannes, what advice or recommendation can you give for experts who are going to come to Russia or just are here but a very short time? How to adapt, how to be accustomed to traditions and so on and so on, to be involved in the life?
No, what I can recommend, like I said earlier, try to do your best to get to know the basics of Russian language. It's just a simple conversation or questions to ask or answer questions. Just the basics of life, getting around in Moscow, or just have a small conversation. How are you? Getting around, it's very important basics because it helps you so much getting around and feeling comfort from going from A to B, or answering a question from somebody, so you feel more comfort and not so only in your own shell and you don't know anything, you're afraid to ask or say something. So I really recommend to get a small basic of the Russian language, and it makes everything so much easier and more confident. It's very important, getting around with a bit of confidence with Russian knowledge. It's just a small one, but it helps you so much. That's what I really recommend. And getting along with Russian colleagues or with Russian people from neighborhood, doing the way of life, how they live. So you get to know that, and it's really a good
like
thing.
Like a world inside.
Yeah, it makes you more comfortable in the place where you're working, where you're living. I really recommend that. Sure thing. Yeah.
Well, Johannes, I'm so glad just to meet you and get to know about some piece from your life. So I'm very glad that you're a true citizen. It's really very nice. So kind of a pride of our country to have people from different countries so that they love our country, respect our country, love our country, and so that's nice, really. And from this, so we Russians feel very great ourselves that our country is very loved by others from the world. Not only Russians love Russians or something like that.
I can add something very important, like you just said. That's what I always did from getting to know Russia. I always shared news from my experiences, first on Facebook, but that's with now on VKontakte and Telegram. I always share the news about Russia, and just always also the good things, the way of living in Russia, how I experienced. I always shared my stories online, and it was most appreciated by the most of the Dutch people. Most appreciated. Yes, of course, and that's what I always try to do, and with my job as well. That I'm from the Netherlands, but I'm just also a person who tries to make a living in Russia. And I'm very happy that I'm very most welcomed by the Russian people. And of course, thank you very much for my boss. He opened the Dutch bar, and I'm just managing or running the bar, exactly. So that's I do my best to get a good picture from Russia, outside of Russia, for showing the West. You can have a very, very good living in Russia. It's very important.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Thank you very much for your experience, for your
You're welcome.
Impact to our history, I should say. Now you're a part of our history. That's perfect.
Sure thing.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Likewise, of course. Very pleasant. Thank you.
Thank you.
As we bring this episode to a close, let's carry the warmth of a Dutch bar in Moscow with us.
along with the laughter and story shared today. Thank you for tuning in, and may your days be as rich and vibrant as the culture our guest brings into his life every day. Until next time, keep weaving your own tales of adventure and connection. Cheers and goodbye, guys.